Well, hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sheri and I love books, particularly fantasy books, but I will read anything from any genre. And in particular today, I am really craving a nostalgic read. Lucky for me, I ordered some books from Indigo for my birthday and they just arrived. It's a sunny day, there's books in the mail, things are looking good. I've been yearning for a nostalgic read. I'm just really missing the style of books that I grew up with. I just felt like the plot was so good, the romance was great, and books these days are also great, but some of them just aren't hitting the spot the way that I remember books hitting growing up. And so I kind of want to kick it old school for a minute and go back in time and catch up on this series. I'm really excited to dive into these today. So I had a birthday coupon. This is Mowgli. I had a birthday coupon to Indigo and it said it was valid for one item, and I was like, well, I could use it on one book, but then I would save only a little money. If I use it on a trilogy pack, I'm saving more money, and that's girl math in the works. That's where we do this. I'm so excited. I've never read these. I loved the Mortal Instruments in high school, but kind of just fell off track, and I didn't realize that there were all these other books coming out, and so glad that Hallie Bush has been talking about them because she inspired me to read them. And if you're looking for another booktuber, she's my comfort booktuber. Love her. And I can't wait to dive into these. My birthday is coming up, which is why I had the coupon, and I'm going away for a few days, and I'm kind of hoping that I can get through these, so at least one of them anyway. So I'm going to take you guys along for the journey. Okay, you guys, the most satisfying part. I used to work at cafes all through like high school and university. We would always make London fogs, and I somehow forgot about them over the years, or it's just like a drink that I love but I don't let myself indulge in because it feels like such a treat. But the way we would make it in the cafe, if you've never heard of a London fog, because apparently it's a Vancouver thing and I didn't realize it wasn't like a widespread thing, is you would do 2 pumps of vanilla syrup, you would do a little bit of hot water just to steep the tea in, the Earl Grey tea, and then you top it up with steamed milk. I do a little bit more water in my personal one just because the oat milk that I buy is quite pricey and I want to stretch it as far as I can, and it's still delicious with like kind of a half to half ratio, but if you're making it at a cafe, it's generally more milk and less hot water. And then I use honey because I'm using this cream of Earl Grey tea, so it has that sort of creamy vanilla-y flavor, so I feel like I can just sub for honey easy enough and not worry about vanilla, and it's delicious. I know I haven't introduced anything. Essentially, I am such a tea granny, and one of my favorite things to do when I'm reading a book is to pair it with a tea. And London Fogs just sort of fell in my lap at the same time I started reading this book, and honestly, it's a match made in heaven. It's so fitting, and I highly recommend. But let's talk about this book, you guys. Oh my gosh, let me have a sip of this and then we'll get into it. I was craving a nostalgic read and I got it, you guys. I wanted to feel like how I felt in high school reading The Mortal Instruments, reading Twilight, reading Harry Potter, reading The Hunger Games for the first time. I wanted to be just so sucked into a book, and I wanted it to just sort of take over my life a little bit. And this did that. I've been in a reading slump for so long, and I was just so desperate for something to fill that void. If you don't know the plot, so this will be spoiler free by the way, but if you haven't heard the plot, when Tessa Gray crosses the ocean to find her brother in Victorian England, something terrifying is waiting for her in London's downworld. Kidnapped by the mysterious Dark Sisters, who are members of a secret organization called the Pandemonium Club, Tessa soon learns that she has the power to transform into another person. The Magister, the shadowy figure who runs the club, will stop at nothing to claim Tessa's power for his own. Friendless and hunted, Tessa takes refuge in the shadow with the shadow hunters. Can I read? Friendless and hunted, Tessa takes refuge with the shadows. Here we go again. Friendless and hunted, Tessa takes refuge with the shadow hunters, warriors dedicated to ridding the world of demons. She soon finds herself fascinated by and torn between two best friends, James and Will. As Tessa is drawn deep into the plot that threatens to destroy the shadow hunters, she realizes that she may need to choose between saving her brother and helping new friends save the world. And that love may be the most dangerous magic of all. I feel like I haven't read a good love triangle in a while. Let me tell you, it is fun. Okay, I have some thoughts. There's something so satisfying about reading an author you're already familiar with. It's just so comforting. I just loved it. I do have some criticisms though. The one thing that has always kind of irked me about the Shadowhunters world is how small it seems. I feel like if we compared it to something like the Wizarding World from Harry Potter, it always felt like, okay, it was like this small thing in the muggle world, but there was so many characters and it was so rich and there was like so much history, and I just feel like with the Shadowhunters, I can't really remember too much from the Mortal Instruments series. It's been over a decade, but I just remember it kind of feeling limited. I don't love that it all sort of happens in this one setting that feels very cut off from the rest of the world. Like, we don't get to see much. I'm really hoping that with the second and third book that our world opens up a lot more and we get a lot more of that information and just sort of world building, because it feels just so isolating to me in a way that I'm like, where are all the other Shadowhunters? Why was there no one else around to save people? I just wonder, like, demons and warlocks and vampires and werewolves, like, must be running rampant, like, in abundance. Why does it only take, like, 4 Shadowhunters? You know, like, the math ain't mathin' on that. In terms of the conflict, I liked how character-driven this is. I felt like there was a lot of character-to-character conflict, and that was sort of driving the story. A lot of disagreements, and between like the characters that we do get to see, we get to see a decent amount of who they are, where they stand, what they're like. So I did appreciate that. I did find the plot quite predictable. I know I'm not YA anymore. I'm not a young adult anymore. So maybe that's why if I was reading this as a teenager, maybe I wouldn't care about that. But I just kind of wanted a little bit more. I think it's only like 500 pages or less. I wanted to see more of what Tessa's day-to-day at the Institute looked like. I feel like the only moments we really get are her interactions with both of the boys and her getting a little tidbits of information from the other characters, and then her reading and learning from the codex what's going on. And yeah, I just kind of felt like we could have been given a deeper look. I expected that I would be a Will Herondale girl, like from the get-go, and I would just be loyal to him the whole series. This book kind of had me wanting her to choose Jem to go with James, because I don't know, he was doing something for me. I was like, maybe it's because I'm older now and like healed and evolved and grown that I'm like, oh, choose the one with healthier communication. Choose the one who is validating to you. But then also Will also has his moments. So I feel like the love triangle for me was written well, to the fact that like there was this push and pull. I really enjoy Tessa as a main character. I think that it's so cool to see all of these badass FMCs and all these incredible, strong warrior women, but it is refreshing to go back to a female main character who is soft and gentle and kind, but still very strong, selfless, and smart. She has a strong moral code, and she is very emotional, like in the best way. Like, I find that it just felt honest for her age and for her life experience, the way that her emotions were sort of pulling the shots in this, and like sort of her confusion and her inner dialogue, I guess. She's still strong and determined, and she's not just letting the plot happen to her. She's very actively furthering the plot with her decision-making skills. And yeah, I can't wait to see where she goes. Another thing I find, and I found this with the Mortal Instruments series too, is I don't love the villains in this. Like, they just don't seem that big, bad, threatening, or scary to me, and I don't like that. Like, I feel like the stakes never feel that high. I'm hoping that with the next two that they just continue to rise and it feels more scary. I think, again, going back to the world feeling very small, it just doesn't feel like there's that much gravity to it, because it's like, oh yeah, it's this one guy, just kill him, like, and be done with it. It doesn't feel so daunting of a task, especially when the shadow hunters can kill demons like just like that. But I could see there being potential for the next two, for the villain to get scarier or more threatening, I guess. Yeah, overall though, man, I enjoyed this. It's a gamble when you buy a box set for a series that you have no idea if you're gonna like or not, but I'm very, very glad I did, because I can't wait to dive into book 2. And oh my gosh, I feel like my reading speed, like I said, I've been in a slump, but I also feel like my reading speed has been so slow lately that I just wanted a book that was gonna like grab me and hold me, and I feel like I read this a lot faster than any of the other books that I've been reading. But on that note, I also am liking the idea of like sitting with books and not just rushing through them, cramming, trying to keep up with BookTube or Book Talk and all the latest releases, and actually just enjoying the process of reading again, and reading when it suits me, and, you know, packing my book everywhere with me and just reading whenever the opportunity strikes, or creating those opportunities when I feel like it, but not really succumbing to the pressure that exists in the book world these days to just read and read and read and consume. I feel like that kind of ruined it for me and kind of caused the slump. So I'm really happy to just be sort of following my own heart when it comes to reading again, and to be enjoying it. Like, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And I'm really, really excited to see how this love triangle unfolds and expands. And I have a feeling it can get really, really good. I think that people like book 2 the most, so there are good things coming. So we'll see. Who knows what's gonna happen? Honestly, I have no clue, and I'm trying not to spoil it on myself. So I got some reading to do. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment down below what you're reading. I love to hear from you guys, and I hope to see you in another video.